a 10-year-old girl, and she was adopted. She had some sort of learning disability. Her comprehension was slow, her math, her reading, spelling, her hand and eye coordination was... So her biological mother was a germaphobe. She never learned how to crawl on her belly when she was a baby. Never learned to pull herself up on a side of the table or a chair, or fall and get up and go again. And they always carried her, always kept her suspended, and she just never touched the ground. The adopted parents started to research, and they found this article about this professor in Princeton University. And this professor had a stroke. He was paralyzed waist down. And he did every rehab, therapy, everything he could do to try to walk again. His son, who is a neurosurgeon, came up to him and asked, "How bad do you want to walk?" And the dad said, "I'll give up everything if I can walk again." And so the son told him, "Well, you got to go back to the basics. You got to go back crawling, the army crawl. You've got to rewire and tell your brain that this is a rewiring and that you're able to walk again." This is the therapy that he needed to do. The grown man, 70 years old, very successful, and he laid everything down and went back to basics. The man did, and in a period of 9 to 10 months, he started to walk again. The brain was rewired. That's how powerful the mind is. You can train your mind to do what it needs to do. He read that article and light bulbs went on, and he says that's what he needed to do. He needed to go back to the basics. She can run, she can walk, she can jump. But they went back to the basics, that she needed to do the army crawl and pull herself up. They saw significant improvement with her hand and eye coordination from a distance, and it looked like it's a totally functioning well, just like this girl. In the distance, when you start getting closer and you start seeing these huge gaps that people have missed out in their life, in the church growth, in their personal growth, in their family growth, in their parenting growth, in their marriage growth. But until you get to know the person, get closer and closer, and you say, "Man, there are huge gaps in here." And we try all these programs and techniques and all these different things to substitute the huge gaps, rather than actually humbling ourselves and going back to the foundation, going back to the basics. There are huge gaps in our minds and how we think and how we operate. It takes a tremendous amount of humility, and even more so, a tremendous amount of courage to do it. Going back to the basics.